Let's hit record first. There we go. Get rid of some of these things. So how has everyone been before we get started with our camping trip?
Been okay. We've been meeting and did a snow outing to Sandium Pass beginning of March, and yeah, built our derby cars. It's been good.
Oh, nice. Mark or Kelly, have you guys been meeting?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you guys been having any meetings or anything?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So we had our meeting at the outdoor at a park, was it 2 weeks ago now? Where we tried to invite all of our former scouts to join us for water rocket launching.
Oh, that sounds like
And-
fun.
Yeah.
So-
Unfortunately, we just had 2 scouts show up,
Oh, no.
current scouts. We didn't have anybody come back, so.
Let's just hope that they start coming back soon, because we're the same over
Yeah.
here. We've had a loss of quite a few kids, and not many people want to come back, it seems like right now and stuff. So we're having the same problems. Kelly, how about you guys? Have you guys been meeting at all?
Yeah, we're meeting virtually. Other than my 2 cubs, I have 2 other cubs in my pack. We just started though. We just became official like yesterday. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, I knew you were working on that. I forgot.
and then I have another lead, so he should be coming to the next meeting.
Oh, cool. Well, hopefully it'll grow fast for you, and you guys can start meeting more. We just had like I was saying in the meeting earlier, I just had our little den, because I'm a den leader as well, and so we had our den come here to Nescoin, which was really nice. I only had like maybe 6 boys total with the older brothers, and we met with our fire department here, and it's a very small place, and the kids of course were like, we have one big truck and one little truck, and they're all like, well, when are we going to get the tour? And I was like, well, this is it. It's nice to see some of the smaller places, and so they had a good time, and I thought they were going to have them clean up the trash inside or clean the building or something, and they actually let them wash the fire truck, which is pretty amazing for those little ones. So it's pretty fun, but it's really hard with the social distancing, because they really don't want to do that. They want to be on top of each other. So hopefully we'll get the kids back. Well, it looks like it might be just the 4 of us, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with tonight. You guys know the setup pretty much is the same, but this is the resource that I'm using is Being Thrifty, and I made this one last year because I thought it was so much fun. It was right when COVID happened, and nobody got to go camping, right? So I made a camping scene that you guys will see in just a little bit. And I created it with cardboard and everything. So I'm going to show you a great way to be thrifty with your kids by Zoom, and they can have a fun time creating their own campsite. And so hopefully you guys will get something from it and enjoy it as much as I did making it. So of course, the same old thing showing you and telling you, wow, to be prepared at the beginning of your meetings and everything, and have everything set up. So like I said, with this one, I created a mock-up, but like in person, if you're crazy like I am, I probably would have a tent setting up and some things that are, oh no, not that, and things that are thrifty, and so just being prepared is really important. Okay, so you've guys seen these slides. Of course, by Zoom, you can have these or the videos that we just showed with the national anthem and different things like that. We have a lot of those going on, so they're really nice to have. So, or if we're in person, of course, you have the flags and stuff in person. Okay, sorry, I'm a little out of my game tonight. So here's the opening prayer. This one I thought was really neat. So Mark, would you like to read this one for me?
Let's see. Opening prayers to may we always remember to be thrifty, both indoors and outdoors. Please help us remember that we can be thrifty each and every day by reusing items and by not wasting even when we're camping.
Yes, so how about you guys share with me something when we were able to camp and when we're able to start camping again, maybe that you guys have used that was thrifty.
We've not had a chance to camp. We were only a year old when COVID hit, so.
Okay, so and even if you haven't camped with your scouts, what is something you would use personally? So that frees us up a bit.
Maybe a personal mess kit as opposed to disposable plates and utensils.
Oh, there you go. Mark, you guys have any ideas? Something that might be thrifty?
Um,
From an environmental standpoint, if you're doing backcountry camping, keeping the toilet paper down. So.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, we can move on. I won't keep putting you on the spot too much. I mean, it is 4 of us after all. So, all right. Of course, we know about welcome and introductions, and in the meeting we have those. So when we're having our meeting, whether it's, if you had something set up in person, I keep talking about in person, but it is really hard not to be in person, isn't it? So with Zoom, I guess you can welcome each other by doing a skit or something fun, or sing a song to each other. You can jump up and down and be silly, whatever. And so that makes it a little bit nice for the kids. I know when I got you guys up and moving a couple of times, it seemed like it broke it up and made it fun. So if you can think that we're having fun together, then we can make it fun for the kids by just doing fun activities. But in person, of course, this is where you would introduce anyone that helped you set up the meeting, and if you had anybody bring any special props or whatever, or helped you out. So here are our little pictures. The den demonstrations, again, since I used to use that other picture that you guys have seen a lot of the table and stuff. And since we're not in person, if you guys have any pictures that you've taken over Zoom or anything, I would love to have them, and we'll fill them into here and use them. So if you guys have any that you want me to put in or add into a meeting, that'd be great, because I think by showing this in our den demonstrations area, or when you're on Zoom with the kids, this shows them when you have your meeting, hey, this is what we got to do, or this is maybe what we can, achieve by wearing our masks and getting outside and doing our best. So in these pictures, instead of, because in the, again, in the den demonstrations, you usually bring like what you've shown. If you've had to accomplish some kind of requirement, then this is where you would show it. So for me, this time I decided to put my kids in there because here they are getting out, they met their requirement. And then down below, I don't know if you guys can see this picture that I'm pointing at here, but this is where we attempted to do our shoes. And we were supposed to spray paint the bottoms of our shoes. And then you take cocoa powder if you're on white paper, or if you're on dark paper, then you would use like talcum powder maybe, or she told us that cornstarch was the best. And so what we did is we spray painted their shoes, and they stuck their shoes to the paper, and then they had to put whatever their choice was of powder, and then they had to try to identify whose shoe was what. It was a blast, and we could not for the life of us just figure out whose shoe was what, because we forgot to write the names on the back. So anyway, this is where you would do something like that. You would show anything. So with your Zoom, have you guys done any activities with your kids that you have been able to take pictures of or anything like that?
I mean, we Zoom didn't work very well for us, and so we barely met during lockdown periods, but we've otherwise been meeting in person, just small with 5 kids, and so it's been working out well.
So 5 kids, okay. Yeah, we haven't had very much success with the whole pack either. It's just been onesies, twosies getting together, different dens or whatever. So it's been tough. Okay. Well, let's just move on. We'll try to, so here is my crazy campsite that I built. So, I'm gonna move the window over here for a second. Okay, so you guys study it for a quick second or two. And then in a bit, when we get to play the game, or when we go through the slides, you'll say, wow, that is thrifty when you see something that was used that was thrifty. And then you'll say, oh no, that is not good when you see something that was dangerous. And you know what? I'm gonna have to run real quick and grab, oh wait, maybe I can get it. 1 second. I'm supposed to read something to you guys. Let me get my one slide real fast. Yes. Oh no. Sorry about that. There's a slide that I need to get. Okay, so you can study that for just a few more seconds here while I do something here. I forgot to bring it up here with me, and it doesn't work if we don't have the words. Okay. Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, so here we're going to finish our meeting first. So this is the recognition pins and loops. And of course, you guys, we talked about that before, where if you are doing anything and the kids are earning things at home, then you can easily take their things or mail them to them or whatever. With COVID, a lot of people aren't really wanting you to come over, sadly. Okay, this picture here is with this one was a really cool rank advancement. And so you can be creative when you do the rank advancements. So can somebody read this real quick for me?
Cubmaster. Many of us think of s'mores when we think of camping. They're oh so tasty, like the bow on a camping trip present. Tonight we have a special tray of s'mores for all of our Cub Scouts who have earned their rank badges this month.
So I made these, which was really cool, and I made them more into a Christmas ornament because they were kind of cute, and I gave them to the kids. So this is something I think, even though you're not able to hand them out to them, you can say, maybe you could put this in a Ziploc bag and have the items that you need to maybe put on their doorsteps and have them make the s'mores right along with the campsite stuff that I'm going to show you. So it was basically foam, and then you can I used for mine, I wish I had one to show you, but I used just cotton balls where I stretched them out and hot glued them together, and then just a dark piece of foam as well. And so it was kind of fun to make them and hand them out to the kids just before COVID hit, or I think we stood all outside far away from each other and they got them in a packet. So then Cubmaster's Minute, who'd like to read this for me?
A comment made by the Cubmaster to pull the meeting all together.
Yep. So in this one, it just so happened to be about thrifty again. So all the meetings are different. So this one was about thrifty. So they would bring in how to be thrifty. So thrifty is the 9th point of the Scout Law, which we know. So we can talk about saving money, reusing and repurposing items, protecting and conserving our natural resources, never wasting any water, taking things that belong at the campsite, or leaving trash. And then, of course, taking only pictures and leaving only footprints. So we could bring this whole meeting together by talking about ways to be thrifty with the kids. So I love this one. This would be our closing normally, and I chose this skit. So if somebody wants to read this, even though we're not closing the meeting, that would be great because I love it.
Pack 57, I'm your new den mother, Miss Stevens. Tommy's mom, any questions? When do we get pocket knives? Do we ever get to make fires? How about archery? Refresh my memory. Why did your last den mother quit? She had trouble with knots. She couldn't untie them. Yes, Red, what is it? Instead of a sing-along, can we place a can of baked beans in the fire and watch it explode? I hardly think my neighbors appreciate a campfire at this hour. No, in your fireplace.
So I'm sure that you guys have or will come across kids that are always asking you to want to blow something up. Uh, so
Oh, that's me.
yeah, the pyros. Yeah, I'm like that. We have a big bonfire outside too. It's definitely not appropriate, but we love it anyways. So, so during this thing, let's talk about, so at what point can the kids light a fire? Do you guys know? Because I didn't know this. So
It's in the Weeblo handbook.
Weeblo handbook, yeah.
So it says like with adult supervision, start a fire without matches or something like that.
Yeah. So I didn't know that actually until later. And so when I was making this silly thing up last year, I had heard that, I was told, or I thought I read, that they couldn't touch the fire or light it themselves, even with supervision. And then I found out that they could actually light it, but they had to be the Weebelows, I think, or something like that. And so the whole time I was thinking that the youngers, I was like, what? The kids can actually touch the fire? Are you kidding me? Okay, so we're gonna go into this campsite and hopefully you guys will, whoops, no, don't go back. Okay, camping we will go. You guys ready? Being thrifty while camping, and a right way and a wrong way campsite. So get ready with your signs. And I am going to, there's a lot of, in this story that I'm going to read, there's a lot of mistakes. So you guys will have to tell me when you see something thrifty and not, and shout out for me, okay? All right. Okay, pictures 1. Let me see if I can find my story real quick. Okay. This story is full of mistakes. Here we go. Narrator. Once upon a time, a group of boys and some adults went camping. The boys were excited because they would be spending the whole weekend outdoors. They would get to set up tents and they borrowed from the campsite. Okay, so in the first one, this is going to be hard because I should have brought, let me see here. All right, so in number 1, we borrowed a tent from the boys, from other scouts. What do you guys think?
It's thrifty.
It's thrifty. Yes. Picture 3 shows scouts putting their tent too close to the fire so they could be warm and close to the cooking the fire.
Oh no, not that.
And cooking a tent.
Yeah. And then the sparks from the fire might catch the tent on fire. Okay. So let's go to the next one. The scouts thought they learned their lesson from the first group, but decided to put their fire logs inside the tent.
Oh no, not that.
But we wanted to stay warm. What the heck? Okay. Number 1 shows scouts using a liquid lantern in the tent so they could read.
Oh, no, not that.
So why would that be bad? Should we have open flames inside the tent?
No, no. And
I don't think so.
Also die of carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Okay, and the scout leaders showed them how to make a light by using a headlamp tied to the water bottle. So you guys can see my silly little water bottle there, but it worked out pretty good.
Oh, that's thrifty.
Yeah. Okay, the scouts threw the logs in a messy, unsafe way on the ground.
Oh, no, not that.
Why don't we throw them on the ground in a mess? You
Trip
guys
on
know?
'em.
Somebody could trip on them.
That's what I thought too. It is true. But it's also, if you put them in the correct sizes when you get ready, then they're ready by size when you go to start your fire. That's also part of it. Who knew, right?
That's how I do my house fires.
So it makes sense. Okay, so in the first small picture over here to the left, this one, you guys can see what I made. That was, you can tell me if it's thrifty or not. So dryer lint was used to light the fire.
That's thrifty.
That is thrifty. And then these young scouts thought it would be a good idea to start the fire now that the wood was stacked in the approved fire ring.
Oh, no, not that.
That's right.
I don't see a leader.
That's right.
I didn't see any kindling. It looks like the logs.
Yeah. I know. Oh boy. So then let's see here. Scouts have stacked logs by size. They have their sand and water to put the fire out and a shovel for spreading the fire ashes.
Wow, that's thrifty.
It is thrifty because on most campsites, don't we have sand and water nearby? Most of the time. I don't know. Haven't been to Camp Bigger yet. So the kids had fun with this anyways. It was on Zoom. The fire was starting to go out. The scouts decided to get liquid lantern fuel to restart it.
Oh, no, not that.
Why don't we use gas or liquid flammable substances around a fire, you guys? I do around mine. No, just kidding. I don't really.
Why do
So
they call it lighter fluid if you're not supposed to use it?
I agree. Agreed.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. Okay, the scout, he took the stick from the fire so he could write his name with smoke in the air.
Oh, no, not that.
Why not? You don't want a sparkler?
Burn someone, start a grass fire, lots of things.
Exactly. What goes in the fire stays in the fire. Okay, the fire burned down enough to cook their foil wrapped dinners. What do you think they are having? What is y'all's favorite meal to make? I'm totally stopping and asking you guys a question. Okay, for personal or at home, have you guys made any tinfoil meals? I haven't.
My scouts like we do brownies inside of the oranges,
Ooh,
and then you wrap it in the tinfoil
do you do it on the Dutch oven or on the fire?
in the coals.
Oh, right in the coals. Nice.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one recently. That's a really amusing one. I haven't done that. Breakfast omelets and burritos in the foil is popular.
That sounds good. I haven't actually done a lot of cooking or done a lot of this kind of cooking with Scout Way, but because I usually use my stove, but my camping stove is a family cooking. So I'm looking forward to making some of these things. So, okay, the next slide is, here's our campsite again. When things settled down, the adults breathed a sigh of relief. They stoked the fire, sang some songs, and told stories. Time to turn in, and the scouts wanted to put the fire out by dumping the sand on the fire. What do we use to put the fire out?
Water.
Water, yes. I actually also thought it was sand, but they said, oh no, you can't do that. You must spread the ashes and be sure that all the embers are out with water. So I always thought it was sand too. And if it's in a pit, I thought you just let it go out. But okay. So here we are. And what do you guys think is wrong with this picture?
trash.
Yes, why don't we leave trash?
They left food out too. There's animals eating it.
The
Yeah.
animals are eating the food. So we know they're not supposed to do that. So, oh no, not that. So how to make a campsite. So I'm going to show you guys how you can see how I made mine, but there's actually a site that I got things off of. So if you wanted to, you could, send an email to your parents and have them have their kids, or you can get the items together and put them in a Ziploc bag and maybe drop them off and get them enticed. And then when you have your Zoom meeting, you can have them build it together with you and then have them pretend like they're getting to go on a camping trip. So it's a real easy, fun little thing. And it was a thrifty way to make a little campsite. So I had to improvise because I didn't have half the things that were in this thing, but this is a little video. It's not great. I didn't put any music with it, but at the time we were also working on teaching our kids how they can use making a movie to do their Webelos, make a movie. And so I just basically threw my slides together and used it as a demonstration. They didn't really, of course, you can get more in depth with wow, what happened? Oh, I don't know why it's stopping. There we go. Anyways, and so I put the slides together so that can just, well, I'm sorry, you're not going to get to see the whole thing. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, you get the idea. So that helped them with their movie making and slides. Oh, there it goes. Okay, here you go. And let me escape that. So is that something that you guys would think that you would do with your kids, maybe on Zoom, if you could get them to come back?
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's a whole story. So in the beginning of the slides, like I always show you, and I always put my slides on, I'm not sure. I think they're starting to come out with them. I'm not sure. But if you want to know where I get all this information, on this one slide at the top where in the beginning where you can go to the Cub Scout pack meeting plans, they have all that stuff on there. And I find them very easy if you guys take a look, and then maybe there's things that you can get ready for the kids and maybe bring them back. I don't know. And I don't know, like, do they live close? Are they kind of in a conducive area that you can drop some things off maybe to get them to participate? Or it's just kind of quiet? So, well, I found this very funny. Anybody want to read this one for me?
When you hike in the woods, you have to be prepared for emergencies. There's a special call we use if we need help. Listen carefully. Mom!
Have you guys had any little tykes do that?
Mine.
Mine.
I know we're supposed to have whistles, but hey. So here's one last one.
I'm lost. I'm completely lost. What did I say in my Beagle Scout handbook? When lost, follow your compass. Oh, go ahead. I'm following. That's good.
So I know we all feel a little lost because our kids are gone, but if we try to put these meetings together, even if you don't want to use my resources or my videos, that's fine. But I mean, make something your own, because we're only going to be able to bring them back if we try to make it as fun as we can for them. And I don't know. What do you?
A couple weekends ago was the beginning of our spring break, and I actually did a virtual campfire program with my scouts, and then we all camped in our backyard.
Oh, that sounds good.
and I ran it just as if we were doing, like, we did an opening ceremony and we had a story. I actually did like I was like, you guys have to help me out with the story. And it was like a Mad Libs type thing. So we created the story together and then I told it, and I had everybody put together skits with their families, and a couple scouts did some run-ons too. And it was pretty fun. We all had a good time and was laughing. So
That sounds like a good time, actually. So how about you guys?
Person, so. that would be it.
We're actually going camping in 2 weeks.
Oh, you are? Oh, good.
So,
Well,
and we have a new scout joining. So that's good.
that is good. That's really good. It looks like we're about to be booted. I hope that you guys had a little bit of fun with this one. I mean, it's very juvenile, but at the same time, it's something that you can easily do with the kids. That's really what we're doing, right? Trying to figure out things we can do.
That
So
was really good video, and the little, couldn't believe you did all that.
you, oh, yeah.
The whole little diorama was great.
Well, thanks.
Really
Yeah, it was
cool.
kind of fun putting it together. So well, I think we're leaving in like 11 seconds. Or we can just
Whether
leave.
we want to or not.
That's right.
It's like being thrown around like in a transporter in Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they decided to wait until the last second to come out. Awesome. Welcome back. Hope you had some real good conversations going on there. Excited about that. We now have just a few announcements that we would like to make before our closing tonight. First of all, I would like to ask any of our district executives if they have any announcements that they feel they need to share, that need to get shared for everybody here. All right. A couple things to bring up. We have an OA service weekend camp. Is going to be at Camp Baker. It's April 16th to 18th. All of our OA members, and make sure your youth are well informed about this. Scott, you had something you wanted to comment on that?
I was just going to mention, I tried to answer those questions in the chat.
Okay.
So anyway.
Yep. So
Okay.
OA service